Hi, I'm Chef Frank, this is Proto Cooks, and today we're making falafel. So what is falafel? Falafel is basically ground up chickpeas mixed with herbs, spices, and then deep fried. And it's a great dish that is high in protein but has no meat in it. I've been making falafel for pretty much my whole career. I started as a cook at a belly dancing restaurant called Layla. It was Middle Eastern. And we used to make falafel pretty much every day. This is just kind of my version of falafel. This falafel all over the Middle East, Israel, North Africa, you can make it a lot of different ways. This is just the recipe that I've kind of landed on and I've made throughout the years. So let's look at the ingredients and make some falafel. This is what I put in my falafel. Chickpeas. I use dried chickpeas and I soak them overnight. That's what I have here. Here's the dry ones. Here's what I have soaked overnight. There's a big misconception that people use canned chickpeas for this. You need raw chickpeas that have been soaked overnight. Salt, baking soda, ground cumin. I put jalapeno in mine. I like a little jalapeno. Garlic. I use green onions instead of red onions. I just like green onions. It's basically a green dish and it should have green onions. Why not use them? And then I have a mixture of chopped parsley and chopped cilantro. So there's about a bunch of chopped parsley and cilantro each, about half a jalapeno, 4 or 5 green onions, 3 cloves of garlic, and about a teaspoon of cumin. And if you don't like cumin, you can omit it, that's fine. I have a Cuisinart or a food processor. Not everyone does. Can you do this without one? Sure. You can use a mortar and pestle. You can probably grind this up in a blender if you have one. But this is a great piece of equipment to have. I've had this for over 20 years and it still works. And right now it's just getting to the point where I need a new one. The first thing we're going to do is put our herbs. The herbs have some stems in them, and I don't mind that. As long as the stems aren't gigantic and woody. You can see that the stems that I have here are tender and fine, that's good. I like to put my herbs and my aromatics in first and start grinding those up. So I have my garlic, my green onions, my jalapeno, my cilantro, and my parsley. So I'm gonna grind this up. Whenever I use a blender or a food processor, I always have a spatula on hand. So you stop it and just get down the side, as you grind it up, just wipe the sides down so that you get, that jalapeno was a little hot. Okay, now we can add our soaked chickpeas. Remember, the chickpeas are soaked. Oh, make sure you get it all over the place. Chickpeas are soaked, not... that chili's a little hotter than I thought it would be. The chickpeas are soaked in water, not cooked, okay? And now we grind. Stop, scrape your sides, push it down. Do this a couple of times until we have a nice paste. And I like for this to hold together. I get in there, I get a little piece, and if I can squeeze it and it holds together, we're getting close. Some people like this really chunky. Some people like it really fine. I think that we're actually going to go for another like half a minute and we're gonna be good. The chickpeas and the herbs are ground up and I'm gonna mix this in a bowl. So we get everything out of here. Scrape your bowl or scrape your, what is this thing? Oh, it's the food processor. Get it all out of the food processor. And now I'm gonna season it. So I have my baking soda. Baking soda gives this a little bit of a lightness to it. It also keeps the falafel green on the inside. My cumin, salt, seasoned well. These are beans that have not been seasoned at all. And then black pepper. Plenty of black pepper. Okay, we're gonna mix this real good. Okay, we get it mixed really well, and that is my falafel. Quick and easy, guys. Most people think that this is complicated and it takes forever. It all depends on what you do and the method you use. I kind of feel like this is quick. This is a great dinner for in the middle of the week, and it's totally vegetarian and vegan. Let's go over to the stove and fry these suckers up. We're over at the stove ready to cook the falafel. And I do have a couple of pieces of equipment I want to talk about. This I've talked about before in my Zeppeli video. Go check out my Zeppeli video. It's a great thing. It's called a spider for fishing things out of oil. It drains the oil really well. And this one was probably like $3, super cheap. Ice cream scoops. Ice cream scoops, I talked about this in my sausage making video that you can see. It's a great video, if I do say so myself. But ice cream scoops are great in different sizes for portioning out meatballs, falafel, stuff like that. One little thing I wanted to talk about is this. I found this at a garage sale at the local temple, and the woman's like, do you know what that is? And I'm like, yeah, I know what it is. And she gave it to me for like $1, $2. But this is what they use in, I guess, either Israel. You pull this down, you fill it up, and then you let go, and it pops the falafel out. I don't use this because this is a little too small. I like it a little bit bigger, okay? That's why I use this ice cream scoop. So my oil is hot enough. My oil is at 350, okay? I get a scoop, I put it in my hand. I get a scoop, put it in my hand, and I flatten it a little, and then I just drop it in. Flatten it out and drop it in. See how quick this goes with the right equipment? It goes really quick. And what's great about the falafel is that the starch in the beans are basically what hold it together. So if they're falling apart, you probably need to puree it a little more. Oh, I just dropped 2 pieces in. That was my fault. But you should be gentle with them at this point when you drop them in. You want to be sure not to overload your pan. I think I could fit one more in there. And we're going to let these cook until they are cooked throughout the center. And I'll show you what that looks like when they're fully cooked. This is a good example of when the falafel's not quite done. It's bright green, and then the inside is like is a lighter green. It needs to cook a little longer. So I'm just going to drop these in. It doesn't matter if they're broken. We have another minute, and then these will be ready to go. They're ready to go. I'm going to take them out of the oil. Can you save this for the next day? You probably could. I like to put a little bit of salt on them at this point. Let's go over to the board and taste them. Falafel are done, fried, time to taste. I have a little piece here, I'm gonna break it open. Look at that beautiful green interior. It's nice and dark on the outside. You can taste all the herbs. With a little bit of pita, some tzatziki, or some tahini sauce, this will be delicious. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, write me some comments. I love to read people's comments. I try and answer as many as I can. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe, tell your friends. I'm Chef Frank, this is Proto Cooks. I hope you enjoy the falafel.